Excellence. We would like to thank you and welcome you. We would like to first thank our sponsors, partners, artists, and audience. Sponsors, Array, Legacy Foundation, Knight Foundation, Urban League of Northwest Indiana, Indiana University, Northwest Office of Diversity, Equity, and Minority Affairs, Mr. James Wallace, Jay's Breakfast Club, CWIT Public Relations and Marketing, Quad J Creative, Trainer Digital Strategies, the City of Gary, filmmakers, panelists, audiences. And also, we would like to thank our illustrious staff, who without them this could not be possible. Karen Toring, Walter Jones, Saida Holt, Lester Lowe, Tony Simpson, Sydney Chapman, Winter Ojili, Jakawa Ward, myself, Ludine Kilgore. And I would also like to thank all of the marketing, public relations, tech, Mr. Venturous Jackson, Ms. Megan Trainer, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, my name is Ludine Kilgore. I'll be your host for this evening. And let me tell you, today I'm just so excited about this film, this female filmmaker to watch, as Fort Worth says. So today, director, producer, and writer Chynna Robinson made her film debut with the short film entitled Greenwood, 13 Hours in 2017, a story about a family trapped in their homes during the massacre and destruction of Black Wall Street in 1921. Also, on the helm of producing her latest film, Chynna was honored at the SXSW as a female filmmaker to watch by Film Fort Worth. She has also Robinson's debut narrative feature film, No Ordinary Love, premiered at the Indie Memphis Film Festival in October 2019, winning Audience Choice Award and Best Screenplay. And the next stop on the festival circus was met with Audience Choice Award, Best Ensemble Cast, Best Edit, and Best Best Lead Actor. No Ordinary Love currently has outstanding nominations such as Best Director, Best Feature Film, and several others in Nice, France, and in the United States. In addition to narrative projects, Chynna has worked as director on several commercials, projects, and has recently written for a comedic television pilot. Let me tell you, this woman is on fire. And so without further ado, may I introduce Miss Chynna Robinson.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this festival.
We thank you, and we are so excited to have you as well. Let me tell you, when we first found this film, or the film found us, I don't know, both, just excited. And I believe during the month of October, Domestic Violence Month as well. And so we were doing a lot of we of course, we got the film early in the year, but of course our final selections, it came through. I said, it was a no-brainer, but really heavy topic. You're not shy about, the heavy topics. So No Ordinary Love. And I always think of Sade lyrics when I think of No Ordinary Love, but this takes a little different twist on No Ordinary Love. So tell us a little bit about yourself in the film.
Yes. Well, this is my first feature, and it's a tough subject to hop in, especially for a first-time filmmaker. But it's something that I became really passionate about, intimate partner violence and domestic violence. And what I wanted to do was make this like really entertaining, interesting film, but then have people walk away going, oh, I get it now. I get why she stayed, or I get why he stayed. I understand it a little better. So that was my goal. And we've been going around, audiences have been getting it. So that makes me very happy. It's been a really, not a fun ride, but it's been a really good ride.
It's been a good ride. When you say domestic violence, we're not going to, right, you said, but to educate, bring awareness. And I said to myself, I said, we are still bringing awareness to domestic violence in 2021. And again, sometimes, like my mother said, you got to keep doing it till you get it. And so it was when I looked at the film and I thought so many things that you addressed in the film. The men being up, oh, should we give it away? Well, they saw the film, so those who are saying,
I was
but
about to say, I don't know, do we give it away?
well, they just screened the film, but those
Mhm.
who are coming. But when you think about relationships with father to son, when you think about relationships from husband to wife, and he's a man of color as a policeman in this day and age.
Mhm.
When you think about a man of the church, pastor, and then what he's presenting in the pulpit, and then what he's presenting at home, and both what they're presenting in the, the policeman goes and probably takes care of domestic violent calls, and then he comes home. So
Mhm.
it's really tough, but you see real world things that happen. And I asked, people, I said, why do they stay? Why do you stay? But we know why they stay.
Yeah, it's really complex. It's not just a single layer like, oh, this person hit me and that was it. A lot of abuse is not physical at all. And so that's why it was important for me. We're in the Bible Belt down here in Texas. So Christianity and just religion, period, it's a big deal. And spirituality and the abuse that happens sometimes in the church, not always. I love my church. I love my pastor.
Right.
But we know that it's a thing. And
And,
so I wanted to include it in the film.
and I love how you, I love how you showed all forms of abuse, not just physical abuse, but there's emotional abuse, there's mental abuse. So you showed that in both the two women,
Mhm.
which again, it doesn't. And I'm thinking to myself, and then I started thinking, I said, was she abused in another relationship, but now she's not physically being abused, so she thinks it's okay or fine, but there's other abuse going on. So you looked at 2 different or 3 different types of abuse differently, and then there's financial, withholding
Right.
of financial. So there's so many layers to the abuse. And so you really, you touched upon, and the way you looked at it, the way you viewed it and brought it out in the film, I really love that part of how you can see things differently from different perspectives.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted this movie to appeal to everybody, not just those who are survivors of abuse, not just those who are advocates of domestic violence awareness. I want everyone that sees this film to understand and to get it. I mean, we're talking like statistics, 1 in 3 women globally will experience intimate partner violence in their life. Everybody is touched by this. If they're not directly affected, they have a friend or a family member they're a child of.
Absolutely. Right.
It touches everybody, but why can't we talk about it?
And and the other part and we're just going to break the film down, but the other part that I saw, all the supporting people around
Mhm.
that didn't go that extra step to say, hey, you got to leave with me now, or why this? We just touched the surface, but then you say, the police, when he was interviewing, he said, you got to tell me, you got to let me know. And she's like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
He knew, but
But
that's the other thing,
that's
fellow
it. Yeah.
comrade, they're the blue,
Mhm.
the 2 different perspectives from the 2 cops that showed up that day. And I said, oh my goodness, but, and I'm not going to give any more away because, things happen, but actually you really did a beautiful pace as far as peeling back the layer, you building and building. And I'm not going to say anything about, I wasn't expecting certain things, but you just never know. And I just said, okay, it's real world out here. It's real world.
Yes, and that's exactly what we've been hearing. We do the talk backs. It was really nice before the world shut down. When we were in person and we got to do the Q&As and the audience members got to ask the questions. And I mean, we always had survivors in the audience and they always said, wow, that's spot on. I've not seen it told that way, because usually, I don't knock anybody, but female directors and female writers haven't been the ones to tell the story before. So now,
and I could right, and I could tell from a female point of view, and that's the other thing, when people view things, and I said, the way you handle certain things, the shower scene got me, and I'm just gonna say it, and I was like, and I actually teared up. I actually had to stop your film and walk away and then come back because it was so emotional. And I said, oh, this is really tough, but it's a great film that people should see, from the children, how the children are affected. how your coworkers are affected,
Mhm.
and of course how family, it's just everything. And people don't understand domestic violence affects everyone, not just the two people that it's involved with. And I don't understand. I mean, we know that children, if they're in the home, they're affected, but it really goes outside of that. It's a bigger issue.
Yeah, yeah.
So the other things that I would like, female directors always excite me, director, producer, writer. So you have three hats that you
At
wear.
least. Yeah.
That's, usually that you have a director or you have executive producer, but you wear three hats. So
Mhm.
what, tell us about how, coming into the, film, being involved and, getting excited and passionate about for wearing three hats, if you will.
Yes. Well, so before I did film, I did stage, and
Okay.
it was independent stage. I wrote, I directed, I produced, I did some of the costuming, I did the casting, all the hats, which is what sometimes you have to do when it's an indie and you want to do it. You can't always wait for everything to be in place and for everything to be perfect and to have every dollar. So you hustle and make it happen,
Absolutely.
get creative. So for this one, I did. I wore several hats. And then my executive producer, which when we started, she was a friend of mine, and she's the one that was really passionate about domestic violence awareness. And she approached me and asked if I would be interested. And if so, then she would help get some private funding and we, would figure it out. And she ended up coming on as executive producer. But
Mm-hmm.
she also wore as many hats as I did. She helped
Right.
with costume. We had a wardrobe, but she helped with some costuming. She did craft services. She did, so we just
And women do
you have
that.
to
We just
do.
jump in and go where we're needed, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If there's a fire burning, we have to go and figure a way to put it out. It doesn't matter what the job title is.
Right, right.
Oh,
Now, your motivation for the film, was it anything that I know you're not shy about tough subjects. I mean, there's some grit. And when I said she, we have comedy, we have, different things, but you really tough subjects with your film Greenwood, which is I actually saw it, I love.
oh,
And
good.
yeah, I did. And then like I said, it's a tough subject. So how did you choose that subject matter?
Wow. So with this one, with Greenwood, it just so happened I was touring Tulsa with a play that I had done, and someone approached me and asked why I had not done the play in Greenwood, and I had never heard of it. And here I am, a grown up, and I'm in Texas, so I'm right by Oklahoma. I'd never heard of it. So I started doing research, and that's how I came to do Greenwood. I said, "Oh, this would be perfect." And everybody says, "Don't you dare do a historical piece for your first film." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's exactly
What?
what I'm gonna do." And so I did it. And then for No Ordinary Love, Tracy approached me and said, "I have this on my heart, and I don't know whether to do like signs on a bus or, take out billboard ads or what, but I want to spread awareness." And I've seen Greenwood. I actually shot in her house.
Mm.
um, that was a crazy story. I just found her on Zillow and called her. I was like, "I need a house. I can't afford to go
Wow.
through the commission,
Wow.
so can we use your house?" And she was on the road with her husband, and she was like, "Sure." And he
And
said,
I need a church too. I need a church.
"Yeah, I need these things." And, we're just, you have to do what you have to do.
Right, right.
So for No Ordinary Love, that's what happened. She called. I said, "I can do that." I went directly into research. I sat in on actually a homicide, domestic violence
Mm,
case with the prosecutor here. I sat in on
mm.
offender sessions. I spoke with over 20 women that had been in abusive situations with their partner. And I did a lot of studying. I went to a shelter, like everything that I could think of to do. I just wanted it to be really authentic. And
Right.
then I just put my creative twist on it. I created these characters, the police officer, because the police officer is one of the top 3 abusive professions. So I wanted to use a police officer. And then the pastor again, because I'm in Texas and spiritual abuse is a thing. And then I came up with these women who had all of these different qualities, but they were people that we know, people that we are. Like I had some of
Right.
my own
Right.
qualities. in these people. So,
And I loved her sister. You know,
oh yes,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that sister. The Vaseline and the glasses would have come out on day one if I had found out you were doing anything. I'm just saying.
right,
Uh,
right.
but that was really real, and that was touching. But I said I loved her sister. But
Yes.
but that's the other part too, that we do, some of us do play a part, that we know things that are going on, but we don't do anything. We don't say anything.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
and that's why it persists. And I think more men need to come and say, hey, and the men in the families know it's going on.
Oh yeah. But as we saw in the pastor's family, sometimes that's why it's going on, because it's
Right,
handed down. There's a cycle.
right.
And
And they're
so
handing it
there
to their son.
exactly. And there
Right.
was the teenage son of the pastor. There was a scene we had to cut for just the sake of time, but there's a scene where he says something that's really snarky to his mom that his dad would have said. And it just shows
Mm-hmm.
how there's this
Mm-hmm.
generational cycle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell everyone, everything, this is my philosophy, everything stems from childhood, how you deal with resolution, how you deal with conflict. So somewhere along the way, somewhere either learn passively or, where they learn to say, okay, it's okay for a man to do this. I don't know. But they, somewhere along the way, they saw it and they
Yeah.
thought it was okay. But that's learned behavior as well, too.
Oh
But
yes. Oh yes.
yes, yes. So what surprised you? Did anything surprise you when you were doing No Ordinary Love? I keep thinking of Sade in my head, No Ordinary
Well,
Love.
that's where I got the title. I
Right.
actually I was thinking, what can I call this thing? And No Ordinary Love is pretty spot on. It's not. This is not an ordinary thing. This should not be, something that's okay. We should not normalize this type of relationship. But something that surprised me, I think I expected the difference in, budget from a short to a feature. I
Mm-hmm.
expected more people. We had people we really did have a great crew and a full crew.
Okay.
So I expected all of those things. What I did not expect was the wear and tear. We shot this film in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. We
Wow.
shot this film in 2 weeks.
It was
We
beautifully
had
done.
one day.
It was
Thank
beautifully
you.
done. It was.
Thank you. It was really well planned. We took a lot of time in pre-production to really get the schedules tight as possible. But you don't take into account, when I did the short, I'm, 12 to 14 hours, and you go home and you're looking at dailies and you're planning for the next day. And it's 3 days, 2, 3 days. When you do that for 2 weeks, your diet's bad, you're sleepy, your brain is just, it's done. And that was something that was shocking to me, because I'm very much a mind over matter type of person. But at
Okay.
some point, I was like, I need to put my head down and sleep for an hour.
Right,
So
right,
that
right.
was definitely a surprise for me.
Well, when you're doing something that you're passionate and you've put so much work in the back end, and now it's come to fruition, this day one that we're going to shoot. And we were doing a festival. We're doing a 10-day festival. I ate once yesterday, but I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my mind. I just said, I got things to do. I got things to do. I ate once today.
Yes. I'm
We have
telling
things to
you,
do.
Tracy,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
executive producer would come around China. Have you eaten? And I'd be
Right,
like,
right.
I'm going to. And she would bring me, some little fruit or just something. And this is our executive producer, but this is what she's doing. She's like, I just need you to direct. Like, don't worry about this. Don't, she just
Right.
really
But you're
stepped
wearing
in.
3 hats, though. You're wearing 3
Yes.
hats.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. So somewhere in there, you have to breathe, and you have
Yes.
to eat, and you have to drink some water, because Sprite and coffee alone will not be okay.
No.
And that was
No.
my thing, Sprite and coffee.
Well, one of the things that I do, when I was looking at some information, you said you have an exciting announcement coming soon. But before we get into that, tell us, what's ahead besides on No Ordinary Love? I know you said something exciting, but I also want to just jump ahead to Lola Lisa.
Oh, yes. Yes. Lola Lisa, at the beginning of this year, I decided I'd done this historical drama, I'd done this romantic thriller, and I wanted to hop into other genres. I'm a writer. You know,
Right.
I love to direct, I love to write, but I don't want to just write drama or just write these, you know, peril stories. I
Right.
want to do everything. And so I wrote a television pilot for a sitcom. I haven't shopped it anywhere, anything like that, but I wanted to see if I could.
Yeah.
And then I wrote Lola Lisa, a thriller.
I'm excited.
Yes, yes, that was my first step into an actual, like a real thriller, and it's more of like a cerebral thriller, and a couple of jumps are in
Mm.
there, but it's a short also. Um, and then I have another short that's really artsy, and it's a love story, and it's all sweet.
I'm a
And
hopeless romantic, so I'm excited
me
about that as well.
too. Yes, I'm a Pisces at my heart, so everything is
I'm a Virgo, so I don't know what that means, but I'm just a helpless romantic. We're just women that love love and love life, and we love we love
yes.
stories. We love our stories. So yeah, all of that,
Yes.
all of that,
So
all
I'm
of that.
excited about those things. I just wanted to get out and do some other things. And now I'm working on two features, a faith-based film and a sci-fi fantasy.
Oh, you're staying
So,
busy. You're staying
oh yes,
busy. Sci-fi,
absolutely. Oh
sci-fi.
yeah. Yes, yes, sci-fi fantasy. So I'm also like, I love old school movies, like the Neverending
Oh,
Story is one of
yeah.
my all-time favorites. So I wanted to do something like that, like have some humans interacting with non-humans and making some worlds and the costuming and the makeup and all of that. And then there's a really sweet family story in the midst of all of it. So
So you are definitely a female filmmaker to watch. I mean, we don't know. We're looking and say, what's next? What's next? What's next? Because you have so many different things. But that's the other part that you get to explore. This is the best time, I think, for filmmakers, female filmmakers, Black female filmmakers. You said, there's no ceiling. I'm going all the way with everything.
mhm.
Now, with No Ordinary Love, you said there is an exciting announcement coming soon. So can we talk about that, or we're gonna wait?
Not yet. We're so close. We're so close, but not yet.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
but
okay, okay.
very soon we'll be able to announce something and we'll put it up on our social media.
Okay.
It's No
Okay.
Ordinary Love movie. We'll get it. We'll get it out.
There was so many accolades. There were so many compliments. The film was very well received, and we enjoyed it. That's why you're here. And there's getting some traction. It's getting some traction. So you get to vote. So everyone today, if you've clicked on it and you say tell your friend to go buy their pass, and you still have till midnight, go to Ordinary Love. Make sure you vote,
Yes.
and tell us where we can find you, your social media handles and things like that, just so we can know where to find
Yes.
you. Look
Yes.
for your other sci-fis and your thrillers.
Right. Well, I am on Twitter and Instagram as China Writes. So it's CHYNA and Writes as in.
Yeah, cute.
And then for the film No Ordinary Love movie, that's on Facebook and Instagram, and then Twitter, because we had to shorten it, it's NOL movie. So
Well, the cool thing is because I always see what comes up for everybody's name, but
mhm.
if you put China, your full name with no, it just explodes. So you
Mhm.
can find it, and then it attaches Greenwood with it as well. So it's
Yes.
not hard. You're not hard to find. You're not hard to
We've
find.
had a really, like, I'm so grateful that we've had the year that we've had with the press stories and the features and all of that. Like it's bittersweet to say,
I know.
I'm
I
having a
know.
good
I
year when,
know.
and there are ups
The
and
subject
downs. I've
matter.
lost people,
Mhm.
it's a really tough year and an odd year for filmmakers, but we're pressing through. We're staying creative.
I was going to say, during this year, you've been busy, I'm sure, but again, you've had to shut down, or either come, or did you stay? Were you on set anywhere? Had to come off? No. Okay.
No, I shut it all the way down.
Shut
I'm
down.
I'm, mask on, and if I don't have to be out, I would love to see this thing go away. So I'm doing my part to make it go away.
Right, right. And I'm thinking so many of, like you said, you're into so many different films that are coming. So I'm sure there's going to be more, because now we're sitting at home in a quiet space and we're creating, and things are, unfortunately, during the circumstances. But I'm excited about what's to come. I'm always going to look at the positive.
Mhm.
It's hard. I've had personal loss. I've had
Mhm.
personal things to get over through this year. But hey, we just push through. Women push through. We just push through. Everyone's pushing through. And so that's the other thing. We're holding each other up. I say women hold up half the world.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. And I love when I first went to your page, you had a quote: a director has to have the heart of a poet and the skin of an elephant, by
Yes.
Myra Now.
Yes. You have to have tough skin. There's a lot of rejection, a lot of no, a lot of how in the world can I make this happen? And you just have to push through it. And that takes a lot of heart and it takes tough skin.
Yeah, we do. It does.
Yeah.
Well, we are at that time. I can stay and talk to you forever.
I know, same, same. It has been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you again. We appreciate you. We appreciate your film, and keep doing. Let the women's voice be heard. Just let it roar loud. I love the female directors. I have an affinity for female directors. Of course, I love all stories, but female directors from that point of view. So thank you again. We appreciate you. And I am Ludine Kilgore with the Gary International Black Film Festival. Guess what? We still have days left. We still have till Friday. Come on by, stop by Gary Black Film Fest, Gary Black Film Fest. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and visit our website. We have gear, 10th anniversary gear. We're so excited celebrating 10 years of Black excellence, Black film, Black Film Matters. Black female directors, writers, and producers matter. So we thank you again, and we're going to say good night.
Yes. Good night, guys. Go vote.